아으씨, Jordan, I hate you. I made another one. Yeah. Could you check?
Yep. So getting like it's.
So Wi-Fi is not disconnected and then modem is disconnected, but just connect my hotspot.
Okay.
I'm not sure how much is it. I have 20 people,
Yep.
but I'm not sure. 3. Oh, okay. Where is the chat?
I got a shot now.
Yeah. Oh, why you're slow?
Live?
Yeah, you're live.
Still spinning. Oh no.
Yeah.
It's probably just loading the page, but do you want to connect to my hotspot so we're not using yours?
Because I worry about it because then I several times connected finally success.
Yep.
But I don't want to.
Okay, that's all good. We'll find a way to make sure you get compensated for that because it's gonna cost you data and stuff like that.
Yeah. But it's what is it? Just a moment. Jordan want to.
There's
Yeah. Wait, what turn off chat? Where is turn off? Yeah. Live with your face.
I suppose you won't be needing this.
Yeah. How do I do? In
Wouldn't be on the other side. Oh, okay, here it is.
yeah. Why is it your Wi-Fi is also? Why is it you? That's working your.
Well, that's my connection.
Yeah.
Because I'm not on the Wi-Fi and my cell service is not good here.
Yeah, but how is it stable?
Jason said he was walking outside to see if. Okay, looks like it's stabilized.
Oh yeah. Okay. Did you check the YouTuber outside?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Jason's doing too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it seems better outside.
Yeah.
It's not great, like it's not that sharp, but
Yeah, but it's now it's stable, not perfect. Now it's everything is good,
Yep.
but just in case I'm recording too, so oops.
yeah, I mean once we get going, I'm sure it'll be fine. The hard part is the audio. Like if you got a good microphone there, so that should be good.
Yeah.
But we're recording on the other one, the microphone isn't
Yeah.
quite as good. But you can do an external mic on the other one. So we have the external mic.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Okay. It'd be nice if we had a speaker. We're all up high.
Yeah, like if my microphone is going to sit here, it's just going to pick up whatever it it's going to be in.
Yeah, like is it better to have
I mean, this speaker is pretty close. I'm not recording.
yeah. No. The audio. We're live streaming.
Okay, yeah.
Hey, I'm sorry. Outside? Hey, turn it up.
Yeah. Now it's
Yeah, like John said, we've got a speaker right there, so at least it's ready.
yeah.
There's a speaker right there.
Yeah.
I mean, ideally you would have a microphone closer to it, but into a board somewhere. But it is what it is.
In fact, I have a pole to put my mic right up there. So I got a hold of my cell phone provider.
Yep.
The reason, so basically they said that because the record recall isn't showing up on my current bill, it's either going to show up on the next one, or it's simply gotten lost to the airwaves and it's their fault. And I have them recorded saying that.
Yeah. Well, that's all good. It's just like I said, if we need to kind of cover ourselves a little bit, like if it ever went to press council or anything like that, it's just nice to have a break to show that we get it back and message. So, yeah.
So
We'll wait. We'll have to wait for the choice.
but I do have the conversation with my cell phone provider recorded, so I can send that to them
Sure.
as well.
Yeah, send that through and at least we'll have that. Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah, I'm happy to talk to the foundation again. Or not again. But
Yeah.
just be like, hey, if you guys are so concerned about it, then talk to us.
Yeah, for sure. And that's probably the approach that we'll have to do.
I mean, hell, it gets us another story.
Well, it's good to follow up on stuff too if you can. So.
Yeah. If anything, that just makes it better.
Yeah, no, I agree. For sure.
I'd be curious what they have to say, though, because it's not like they can separate from the group in Israel. Because that's like most of where their funding comes from.
It sounded to me like that's what in her email. Did you read the email that she had sent?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like to me, when I'm reading that, she was trying to
Deny
make
it.
that separate. So I don't know. It's it seems that I guess that they are uncomfortable with that relationship.
Yes. Oh. Now it's okay. Stable.
We'll see how long that lasts.
I hate you. I hate you.
I mean, it'd be wise to have photo one still. It's supposed to start half an hour. The moderator is
Are you guys okay? Yes. Do you want me to get you something to drink?
Oh, me?
Yeah. He's getting it? Do you want something else? Like a juice, pop,
Juice.
juice? Any juice? Okay.
Not peachy.
Not what?
Peachy.
I know peach.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's there?
Two murders started.
Please.
A lot less people here than I thought.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of the tables. Still down? Oh, okay. Yeah, people just aren't showing up. If you can see all the plates. People are like standing right outside.
Yeah, he's a foodie, so I worry about it. And
Were you talking to them?
no, it's the documentary. I'm working in broadcast. Yeah, so it's, I'm working in documentary producing. Yeah, so.
I was scrambling to get here.
Architect 145.
I didn't know this was.
Hello. We're going to get started in a few minutes. So if you haven't found a seat, if you could please find your seat. We're going to get started in just a few minutes. We just have a few more people on their way in.
Cheers.
Cranberry. I'm just checking all the.
Definitely look better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's also internet is very very stable. So.
Okay. It's gonna be okay.
Oh. My camera is what? Please. Little bit close. So end of side. So oh my god. Now it's okay, right?
Do we have any more? Yeah.
Yeah, BOWDA and blah blah blah.
Oh yeah, because Jeff Ma was almost cut off too. We can get a little bit closer.
Yeah.
Too close.
We could get a bar stool. A bar stool for the end, a lot safer, we have more space. Thank you.
Okay, you can put it closer, for sure.
Yeah.
Too close.
Oh.
A little bit out, just a bit.
BOWDA?
Yeah, right there is fine. Because then now we can see everybody and the BOWDA sponsorship sign.
Was that being live streamed? You're not live streaming yet, are you?
I use yeah.
You are live streaming right now?
Yeah.
Why? The candidate fell off the stage and she didn't really want that to be on the camera. I thought you guys might start when we were actually starting. The candidate on the end fell off the stage.
They don't want them? Also,
If I recall,
We've given her so it's better now. Okay, so you are live streaming right now. Can you make sure you stop during the breaks? Okay.
I'm not sure.
Can you not pause during the breaks?
we can pause. We can probably pause.
You should
Gotta
be
figure out how.
pausing during the 20-minute break. If you could pause, please, that would be good.
Anybody tap? Just end the stream? No. Pause.
I'm not sure how to pause a stream. I've never done it before.
Live stream is not pause.
I'd like to start with a quick thank you to our sponsors. Spring Creek Mountain Village, Stone Creek Resorts, Three Sisters Mountain Village, Woodlands Mountain Homes, Ashton Construction, and the Rocky Mountain Outlet. And a big thank you to Rocky Mountain Outlet for providing live streaming of today's event and a recording to be shared with others who weren't able to attend. for those at previous events, you'll see that the QR code cards that I was going to put on tables at the last event are actually here. So I'll check that out. It's a fast track to see what we have up and coming with the a big shout out to our upcoming Building for Sustainability Symposium. It's less than a month away now, on November 6th and 7th. This is a partnership with the Biosphere and something that we're extremely proud of. I hope that you will all take a moment, go and check out the website, see the amazing work that's being done in the Valley, the incredible guests, speakers that we have, field trips that we have on offer, and make sure that you register and share that with your colleagues and peers, because it really is a remarkable event right here in our backyard. Coming soon to that event page will be a free back-to-back half-day development sessions on November 18th. This is just new in. We're going to have a half-day workshop on building envelope fundamentals and ground source heat pump fundamentals for builders. So block off the date of November the 18th and look for details on the website to come within the next few days. And that is the reason we're all here today. So while our viewpoints may differ, that diversity is what challenges us to grow. Today's forum and others that have been hosted by various interest groups are to help bring clarity and insight to each of us as voters into the leadership that will guide Canmore over the next 4 years. On October 20th, we have the opportunity to vote for 1 mayor and 6 councillors. It is important to understand that as a voter, you do have the right to vote only for the who truly reflect your values and are not required to fill every spot on that card. You can select 1, 2, 5, or 6, but do not select more or you will spoil your ballot. Take your time, vote with intention, and thank you to all of the candidates who were gathered here today to share with you and connect with you as voters so that you can learn more about the leadership that we are about to have over the next 4 years. Candidates, to ensure fairness and respect one another, we will be strictly adhering to our time limits today. Please keep your responses consistent. Our timekeeper will be showing you. Can everyone see that at the front table? And they're going to give you a hot pink. Time is up. Flip it around. Members and guests, I know that I can count on all of you to remain respectful and give everyone your complete focus and attention. Please follow up directly with candidates after the forum if you have some specific questions for each of them that are not asked today. They have all put together information. There's cards available for some of these candidates. They have websites. A lot of information that they've worked hard to share with you, their views, their vision, their ideals, and take the time to do that research as well as being here with us today. As a heads up, we will be doing about a 50-minute session followed by a 20-minute break. And the bar will be open during that break, but it will not be open from now on. So if everyone could do their best to try and give our guests your full attention. One candidate sends his regrets today, Jonathan Hazard, who was running for a council seat, was very apologetic that he couldn't be here with us today. He had a vacation planned with his wife, tried to cancel it, she was not impressed. And with that, are the candidates ready? Do you have space in front of you, or do you need anything clear? We're happy to take a moment, give you some space if you need it.
You can all make noise. We're going to give the candidates a chance to finish their mouth.
Yeah, honestly, I think we should just like not
Yeah,
pause
we're
this
running
meeting.
ahead.
Just let it run.
We're running ahead. How often does that happen at a BOWDA event? How often?
Yeah, no, it's just create some gigantic meeting happenings. Yeah, if we just turn the camera up and turn off the lights or something.
Now is a break.
I think they're gonna get started.
Now is a break time.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. No, it's a break time. I needed to a little bit more. Ah,
Oh, interesting.
no, I don't want to you win.
Well, that's screen sharing. Let's get right.
Oh shit. Ah.
The moment we've all been waiting for is here. I'm gonna sing. Thanks, everybody. So we are going to get started here. We're going to begin with candidate introductions. We've asked all of our candidates here to consider that they are applying for a role that carries significant responsibility and give us in 90 seconds their words to help you as voters understand their readiness, their values, and their vision for Canmore. And so if I could make sure our timekeeper's ready. And we're going to start at this end of the table with Jeff Long. And thank you. And then you're just gonna, when you're done, you'll just pass your mic to the right and we'll just keep going on the table.
Thank you, Ellen.
Oh, sorry, wait, 1 second. 1 second, sorry. Someone just brought up pre-voting. Is there pre-voting? There absolutely is pre-voting. So if you go to the Town Canmore website, and a number of other websites, but that's definitely reliable information, it will tell you everything you need to know about voting on the 20th, but also your options for voting in advance, and that starts today. So if you are not able to be here on the 20th, you can vote there's a number of dates and times and locations provided to you. And with that, Jeff.
Thank you, Ellen. My name is Jeff Law, and I'm a family man, business owner, and passionate Canmoreite. When I'm out on the trails, in council chambers, or teaching class, I'm always struck by how lucky I am to be here. My vision of Canmore is one of kindness, diversity, and inclusivity, where a thriving middle class can set down roots and make this place even better, where you can actually have the staff to grow your business, where talented people and ideas don't get shut out by a class war and have to head down the highway to find a new home. These last 4 years have been pivotal for Canmore. Issues such as livability, emergency preparedness, and the social fabric of our community have been at a tipping point. I've worked hard, and I'm particularly proud of revamping Canmore community housing. The Ptarmigan Point project is nearly finished. Shout out to the teams at Ashland Construction and Montaigne Architecture for the great work. And we just started 100 Palliser Lane, 144 unit rental building. Emergency response, we got the Volunt app, bringing in the livability tax to accelerate housing projects for locals, guiding the downtown ARB, and also paving the West Bow River pathway for year-round commuting for Three Sisters. Yes, we are in a better place, but we've got much more to do. Challenging times call for intelligent leadership that is willing to take risks to execute a bold vision. Being a counselor is like getting your master's degree at Canmore. It's a deep dive, and it takes time to learn how all the puzzles come together. There's a lot of pieces. So one term completed, I have a heightened understanding of our challenges. I'm keen to leverage that knowledge to serve you and our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Wade Graham?
Good afternoon. My name is Wade Graham. The last 4 years, we've gotten to know each other a little bit better, grow, and find understanding. I've sat down formally and informally with each and every one of your board members, executive, and many of you. I've been encouraged by recent changes and applaud efforts to build bridges, to work collaboratively, to have open, honest, and constructive conversations. But there's more work to be done. I'm a business owner. Our weight class in every category. You're passionate advocates of this place, and so am I. Working together to make Canmore a world-class small town is our common goal. I look forward to working with you, partnering to make this place everything it can be, while protecting everything that is back.
My name is Karen. I've been in the Bow Valley for more than 50 years. Canada. I have raised my family here. My husband, we have 2 sons and 5 grandchildren, and they are very fortunate to be raised in this community.
Hi, my name is Ed Russell. I'm working hard to be the next mayor of Canmore. I'm a former councillor, and I've been in Canmore 63 of my family lives here. I'm a small business entrepreneur. I have 2 active companies at the moment. And you know, I've raised my family's, my daughter grew up, my wife's still here, and we're still with it. Canmore is a really desirable place. The world loves us. Everybody wants to come here. And we do an okay job. But we're not doing, we've got to do better. First place, we've got to improve it. Look after our residents. We seem to be not quite getting everything done to the satisfaction of the residents. And we need to focus a little more on that. I won't go into a lot of detail. I've passed out some material, and there's some more here, and I'm here to talk to anybody who wants to discuss things more. I would just ask, please, if you could give me your vote on October 20th. Thank you.
Hi, my name is James Strickard. I'm running for council this year, the first time ever, and I'm a little nervous doing this. But I believe we need a change. I think we need to change our priorities, not building sidewalks bigger than our roads, and which is a problem. I've seen tons of tourists driving on those sidewalks, just to let you know. I think we need a sports complex built in Canmore instead of more housing. I think we got enough going up to Three Sisters area to fill the void right now for housing. And I just think we need to change our priorities. I think our priorities are a little mixed up when it comes to trying to build bike lanes and make our roads smaller. I drive around to people's houses every day for my company, and I hear people getting mad. A bunch of people are mad with the taxation that's happening, and a bunch of people are mad about the way the infrastructure is going. And before we start building more and more homes, I believe we need to look at what the locals need. I can't use the sports complex myself. I have MS, but I believe that it would be great for the people of this town. Anyway, thank you.
Hi, I'm Rob Murray, and one of my priorities on Canmore Council will be to answer a significant question. Why are so many decisions about our future being made in rooms instead of meeting rooms? I'm not asking this to assign blame. Rehashing the past isn't going to solve anything. What matters is right now, when we're not communicating, we're not accomplishing. Canmore faces real challenges, and we need strong, respectful relationships to tackle them. Some of these relationships are strained. It's time to repair what's broken through open dialogue and collaboration. I saw during the 2013 floods that Canmore is at its best when we face challenges together. This also means strengthening our relationship with the province. We can't advance our strategic goals without them, And we've seen what happens when that relationship falters. Showing that the municipality and the development community can work together is a powerful way to change the channel. I look around this room right now and I see people who care deeply about Canmore and want the same thing I do, a thriving, positive future for our town. There might be different ideas on how to get there, but if we work together with that common goal in mind, we can succeed. You should vote for me because I believe in building bridges. And today, I'm in a room full of builders. So let's build an amazing future for Canmore together. Thank you.
Thank you to BOWDA for hosting today, and thank you to Ali for facilitating. I know how challenging that can be. My name is Jen Merritt, and I am running for council for the first time. I actually grew up in Calgary. I was very fortunate that my grandfather bought a family home in Canmore the year I was born. So I was able to come to Canmore for weekends and summers and holidays while I was growing up. I moved to Canmore 21 years ago full time, and I started in some frontline positions in town. I now have a Doctor of Education in Leadership, and I own my own consulting company. So I work with a lot of organizations in the Bow Valley to facilitate their initiatives on organizational development and leadership as well. I'm in a unique position to be able to dedicate my time and energy full time to the role of being a counselor. So I'm hoping to have the opportunity to do that. I want to be in a position to support our community, and I want to be in a position to support our local businesses as well. I understand that the position of counselor cannot be done off the side of the desk, so I'm fully committed to being engaged and being full-time on council. I think the unique and diverse aspect of my background and my experience and my education make me the best candidate to represent you on the town council. So thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Javon and I've called Canmore home for over 10 years. Like many of our residents, I've worked multiple jobs just so that I can stay in this town that I love. Currently, I work at Selling Services in the Bow Valley, a program through town event helping immigrants to settle into our communities. I also work part-time at Silvertip. Working with different immigrant serving organizations, I've had the chance to work with many local businesses to help their newcomer staff to settle into our communities and understand their rights and responsibilities and how they can succeed in Canada. And that's given me a strong sense of how our workforce, our economy, and our housing are all connected, and how important collaboration and fiscal responsibility are at the municipal level. I'm running because I've lived the challenges many people face here every day. I know what it is like to build a life in Canada, and while balancing work, rent, and community involvement. And I want to make sure that I'm part of I'm shaping policies that will help more people to make Canada home. What sets me apart is that I bring a frontline perspective, one shaped by lived experience, hard work, and real connection to people who keep our Canada running every day. Thank you.
Thank you for the invitation to be here today. I'm Rob Seeley, a longtime Canmore resident, small business owner, two-term counselor. For more than 30 years, I've been deeply invested in this community through business, Rotary, and service on council. Sustainability in Canmore isn't just a policy goal. It's a reality of how we live, build, and thrive in a valley with limited space, precious natural resources, and growing pressures. Our challenge is to balance affordability, environmental protection, and economic vitality. I believe we can achieve this balance by working together, residents, builders, developers, policymakers, and advocates. I've seen firsthand that when we collaborate, whether building attainable housing, supporting green initiatives, or strengthening community partnerships, we get better, more resilient outcomes. Sustainability also makes economic sense. Smart building practices reduce long-term costs, increase resilience to climate change, and ensure that Canmore remains livable, not just for today, but for generations to come. As a candidate, I'm committed to helping Canmore lead
lead as a model mountain community where we protect what makes a place remarkable while building homes and spaces that are accessible, innovative, and environmentally responsible. Thank you.
Thank you, Silvertip and BOWDA for having us. My website is hardwarelaura.ca. Please check that out. I went through a lot of work for that puppy. There's some great pictures on there, and that's about me and where I came from. I'm not going to give you the 27 years in the Bow Valley. What I'm going to say is, I am Laura Finley, and I'm running for council. My experience for this position is daily listening to and knowing the people of Canmore. Yes, I am employed full-time at the Canmore Home Hardware for 19 plus years. I've been hearing daily the concerns of the workers, the retirees, the out-of-towners, the homeowners, the fellow renters, and the vacationers. I see it all daily, and I hear it. Solid concerns. Solid concerns about the price of living here, the roads, they are very tight, the cyclists, and the snow. I want to help in any way for all of us to thrive in this beautiful town. I'm here. In my current role, I have a decent understanding of the business. Give me a big calculator. My skills are more people-orientated and geared toward helping and working as a team. I would do that for Canmore if you voted for me. Also, I don't want to move to Concord.
Thank you, candidates, for your introductions. We're going to get right into the first question. And Laura, if you could hold the mic, it's going to start with you, and then you're going to answer in 60 seconds the question I'm about to give, and then hand the mic all the way back down the table, one by one. We're going to ask all of our candidates to respond to the following question with 60 seconds. And our timekeeper is ready. This is the question for all of you candidates. If everyone could just give them, just so so everyone knows, in a lot of forums, the candidates receive questions in advance. They are hearing them as you are today. Okay, so I just want to make sure they can hear. What do you believe is the #1 problem facing Canmore, and why? Laura, if you could start with your 60-second response, and then immediately when you're finished your answer, pass it along. Thank you.
The #1 woes right now are roads. I live on Canmore. It's great, except 342 days a year. The traffic is very tight. I would have to say a parkade is our only solution. I said initially at another forum that I think it should be out of town. But then I got to thinking, why don't we put a parkade right on top of elevation place parking? Make it high, 5 levels. Get them into a parkade before they travel downtown. Roads are my thing. I went to the chiropractor 3 months ago, went over Cougar Creek. I had a very sore neck. It's a slalom going over Cougar Creek bridge right now. In a car, it's a car slalom. Thank you.
Attainable housing, no question. My 2 terms on council, we started a lot of very good things, working with Canmore community housing. I think we have a lot of things coming up and a lot of things that we've already done. That's certainly one of our biggest challenges, and I'm happy that Canmore community housing has such a strong program, and we're all invested in that, and we've lots coming to the table and lots to do. So that's our #1 problem, as I see it. Thank you.
I think housing affordability is at the heart of our livability, and that's the biggest problem. And there are a few ways to address this, but also I want to mention that it's important that we keep in mind environment as we develop more homes, non-market homes, or any homes, to make sure that we don't sell out and we are smart with our land use. We infill and make sure that we push more into their wildlife corridors and wildlife habitats. Thank you.
I think the overarching problem right now in town is the divisiveness that's been created on a number of issues, which makes it very difficult for us to move forward, solving some of these solutions such as affordable housing and infrastructure. So intentional or unintentional, there's been, people are being forced to say yes or no on very complex issues versus having discussions and being open-minded to other solutions. And I think that that's preventing us from really moving forward on some of these big problems that are going to be identified. So I think moving forward, we need to, instead of having an us versus them mentality, we really need to make sure that we are open-minded to others' ideas, that we're having discussions. We're also open to not only changing our own opinions, but maybe changing the direction that we are going on certain topics that might be different solutions that we haven't looked at before.
Thank you. Yes, the number one challenge is definitely affordability in my eyes. I mean, have you seen the price of buying a home? Have you seen the price of rent today? In my view, the model of a healthy community is that wages should be able to cover rent and still leave some money left over to buy groceries and maybe save a little bit. And housing should be attainable. We're no longer in that place, and we're seeing that. The term I've been using is economic eviction. People are leaving this community because they simply can no longer afford to be here. We can't become a community where our workforce has to commute or bus in. There are lots of solutions and answers out there, and I believe answers in this room that we might not have explored them yet. So let's communicate and explore those together. Thank you.
I believe it's overcapacity versus infrastructure. If we ever get a fire going through this town, how's everyone going to get out? Right? We need to figure out a way across the train tracks. I'd love to see a topographical map of Canmore. Figure out a way that we can actually cross the train in another location. It's crazy. I drive around everywhere every day and I just see it. The infrastructure cannot keep up with the capacity, especially on weekends.
I think the number one problem that we have is overcrowding. Everybody figured out that this is the nicest place, one of the nicest places in the country to be, and they've all decided to show up. And the trick of that is the roads are plugged up, we have enough parking, we're fighting over parking. The locals are mad because they're getting crammed out, the tourists are mad. Everybody's angry. We're just so crowded, and we need to get a handle on how to manage what we're doing. However, our streets are parking, but we need to recognize that there's just no more room left. Now think if you had a party at your house, you've invited 12 people over, or you've said you've got 12 plates, 12 chairs, and at your table, and 12 burgers, don't invite 34. Unfortunately, we've been pushed into that spot.
Without a doubt in my mind, it's affordability and housing. The script is well written for mountain communities that are popular tourist destinations. Eventually, everyone gets priced out that needs to work here, but everyone comes in from outside. Communities got it, you lose schools, we lose professionals. And the numbers now are supporting that. By province of Alberta's own numbers, our housing is 179% of the baseline. We are a complete outlier compared to the rest of the province. Our median assessed value for condos last year, $900,000. Our median assessed value for single-family homes, $1.4 million. So we need to build more non-market housing. It's the only thing that's proven to remain accessible past the first buyer or two, and that's what this council has been working on, and I will continue to work on. A close second, by the way, is wildfire mitigation.
Thank you. I believe that the number one problem facing Canmore is that we have complex problems and a lot of people who want simple solutions. And that's just not how we're going to solve the issues that we're facing as a community. Dynamics form. That's because instead of we have communication that's reactionary instead of collaborative. The Navy SEALs, they have a saying, you gotta go slow to go fast. And when we're innovating and when we're dealing with big complex things, we don't have to rush. We should take our time and do it well. And that's where communication, public participation, collaboration, engagement, and knowledge around all of the legislation in Alberta that is pertinent for the decisions we make are really important. Thank you.
Affordability is definitely the number one, because again, you look at housing, you look at rents, you look at transportation, go to the grocery store, things cost more now. So when all that adds up, that's our number one issue, because again, if you can't afford to live here, you won't. You'll move somewhere else, you'll go to Cochrane, you'll go where it's cheaper. So again, it is a complex situation. There are not easy answers, and we have to continue exploring ideas that will get us to an actual result that's actually manageable. Is it always going to be perfect? No. Is there going to be times when things go a certain way that people don't like it? Yes. That's called growing. That's called figuring it out. So we need to keep doing what we're doing and keep figuring out ways to tackle affordability.
Thank you. I think the number one thing that came to mind for me is livability, which is not in loss of community. I'm the chair of the Bow Valley Regional Housing, and I see the studies and I see the needs from seniors down to people who have disabilities. It's a wide spectrum, and how to keep them in our community. How do we make them be part of it and keep them in our community? And it is ability, and I believe housing to support those and our employees, because with tourism pressures and growth pressures, who's going to serve our coffee? I know that's been a very term that's out there loosely, but how do we keep those people in our community caring about our community? Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Morrow. Affordability certainly is the key to this, our biggest issue. But I'm going to come at it from a growth perspective. And the province has a mandate to double tourism in the next decade. If we think the roads are bad now, wait until twice as many people show up here. If we think that affordability of housing is hard right now, wait until twice as many people show up here. If we think wildlife corridors and wildlife management is a difficult task now, when more people are here, it's going to be better. And therefore, we have to take a long-term view about growth and growth management, doing it smartly, collaboratively, working with folks like yourselves, working with the province, and bringing lots of those ideas to the table and working through them. Thank you.
I think the biggest problem facing Canmore right now is the housing piece, in particular non-market housing. CCH waitlists on the ownership, 309 people or families. On the rental side, 234. Month over month, the list gets bigger and bigger. So sometimes people are waiting 2+ years to get into our community in a housing secure situation. And a lot of people can't wait that long. So we need to accelerate housing. Our communities are built on people. These people on these lists are real. They provide serious value to our community. We need to have them here. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for your answers to that question. Jeff, if you can hold on to the mic. We're going to, on this next question, go all the way back down. I'm going to ask for those who have, because of their seating arrangement, they have their backs to you or they're around the corner. We're all getting to learn your voices. But as you answer the question, unless your name is Jeff, just say your first name. Okay. So just quickly, just your first name or your last name for Jeff, and then the answer to your question. For this next question, we are going to ask all of you, starting with Jeff, working down the other end of the table. And you will have 90 seconds for this question. If you need it, you can answer in as little time as you need. And here's the question. Canmore's growth has sparked passionate debate. How would you approach the challenge of meeting the housing and needs of families, young people, and workers, while also respecting the concerns of some longtime residents who oppose further development and change?
This is the other Jeff, the Jeff Wall Jeff. And could you say the question one more time? It's a little layered in terms of how we approach long-term residents.
How would you approach the challenge of meeting the housing and employment needs of families, young people, and workers, while also respecting the concerns of some longtime residents who oppose further development and change? So it's a balance. How do you feel you should approach that balance?
Okay, I think that's also one of those complex situations where not everyone. I do feel the future of our community lies in our younger generation. Those are the ones who will be around. I think bringing people together in conversation so we can actually understand the needs and challenges of everybody. I think sometimes people hold a position where they vilify some people. I think we actually get to communicate. I think that'd be very helpful. And in the meantime, also leadership. I think our council's been stalwart, defending the rights of the people that are trying their best to be here, to bring value, and we need to continue to lead by example. Thank you.
Thank you, Wade Gray. Non-market housing. This council has approved 1,300 units of non-market housing in Palliser. Non-market housing is attainable for many. Those people that need to work here in the valley, raise families, and grow old. Market housing is fantastic, and we will see a lot of that over the next while. However, at $1.4, $1.9 million for the average house, $900,000 for the average condo, that's just not attainable for the average working person. So we really need to focus on our non-market builds and neighborhoods and seeing those people, that list was 350 people, and that grows every single day. I need workers. We all need workers. And we need to bring that stability to that portion of our community.
Thank you, Karen speaking. When I'm looking at that, I think the biggest thing for me is partnerships. I think we've done, in the last 2 terms of the council, I think we've made a lot of progress. We've added the ability for people to afford some of these market homes by adding the ability to have ADUs, which is an accessory dwelling unit in the basement, or have access, if you have an alley, have a rental small piece above your garage, or a little tiny home, I don't want to say that, but that kind of thing in your backyard. I see through advocating partnerships in using the land that we do have first. I know we've done really well at progressing in the Palliser lands, and I'd like to see that come to fruition. So the biggest thing is collaboration, partnership, seeing what we need. I know there's been a lot of studies showing the different levels of housing we need, and being innovative and being open to new ideas. So we put all our brains together. Everybody in this room, there's a lot of brain power in here. I would like to see us put it together and solve this problem. Thank you.
That's the original Joseph. There's always going to be a balance, but at the same moment, we have to realize that development's going to happen. We have approved development we need to work on. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Laura. So I've been researching the town of Canmore for the Olympics always did so wonderful for us. And if I had not been in grade 3, I would have invested. I would have bought my house would have been $12,000. I think Ernie said he sold it for in 87. It's going to be developed into a fourplex. It's a minor's home. I'm on board. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. I understand the growth. It's going to happen. I say build it, but the encouragement of rental space, I'm not quite sure where we are on that, but I'd like to investigate that. And partnerships with businesses. Staff-a-con. That's pretty good at doing some staff-a-con. You have no place, your employer has a place. And I heard tiny homes on down the line there, and I'm like, I like that idea. They're anywhere from $35,000 to $78,000 to make them. I've been doing a little Googling. That's my ideas.
Thank you all for your thoughtful answers to our question. As we pass the mic down, the next question is for our 2 mayoral candidates. You will have 60 seconds each. Mr. Russell, if you could please start and then after pass it to Mr. Crouser. The question for you both is, the relationship between the town of Canmore and the province of Alberta has been strained in recent years, especially around housing affordability. Do you see repairing this relationship as a priority? And if elected mayor, what specific actions would you take to demonstrate that Canmore is ready to work collaboratively with the province to improve housing supply and address other challenges that we face?
The relationship is totally strained, and I don't think in my belief, we haven't really had a fair shake from the province. You start off with like, come on guys, help us out, you're crushing our town. We're like a mushroom where everything's getting ready to collapse on us, and they're trying to market us as the crown jewel. Start there, get out and talk, encourage dialogue, but at the same time, stop beating dead horses. This resort municipality status, that's been a no-go for too many years. Let you get real, get hard, maybe hardcore is like, hi, stop inviting people over if you're not going to help us take care of them. Thank you.
Yeah, Sean Crouser here. Whereas when I point and speak theoretically, I can speak from experience. I've had lots of conversations with ministers of government, and they've been very good ones. I know that there is a strain in the relationship in some sectors, but in other sectors as well. Minister Bowen and I have a very good relationship around wildfire mitigation. I've had very good meetings so far with the Minister of Municipal Affairs, Dan Wilden, and before him was Rick McIver. I've met with many ministers, and I will continue to do so. In fact, if elected, I will be meeting with Minister Williams first thing. It is a priority to make sure that our relationship is repaired, and I have been doing a good job of putting out Canmore's needs and being open to solutions, and so we're going to continue that.
Thank you both. The next question is for those candidates who are running for a position rather than those that are incumbent. So if the mic could be passed to the right, starting with the first, I believe that would be James. This question is for all of you. If you could, after James, after you answer, please pass the mic to your right. You have 60 seconds. Canmore has unique and urgent housing needs, and workforce housing poses a major challenge for local businesses trying to attract and retain staff. Would you support taxpayer-neutral solutions, such as allowing employee housing above second-floor businesses in industrial areas? Share whether you agree or disagree with this, and why.
I 100% agree with that. Why not? Like down in that industrial area of Canmore, I know that Base Camp built a bunch of buildings, and now people have room above that they're not going to need for offices and stuff. But why not? Why can't we let people move in up there? I see no problem with it. As long as it's up to code, we should be allowed to do that. Also, I think we should try and get a map of Canmore, and we should come up with like a 50-year plan for the whole town. And I think it should go to a vote with every citizen in Canmore. Every tax-paying citizen in Canmore should be able to vote on what they think is a priority.
Thank you. So, a couple of parts to this. First of all, employee housing. I think there's really lots of opportunities there with common amenity housing. We've seen the new Spring Creek Manor come on stream recently, and this is a really great example of community of people who are actually allowed to live in the place where they work. And it was a great use of that relatively new sort of zoning application there. But as far as allowing suites in the industrial area, that's a really complicated subject. I'm inclined to explore it a little bit more and maybe take a second look at whether the right decision was made there. Even on a temporary basis, while we build out, say, the Palliser area, to actually provide housing for people until we actually have the stock to put them in a more appropriate place. Thank you.
My name is Jen. We need to consider all options and solutions that come forward to address our affordable housing. So it's really going to take a collective effort, I think, throughout Canmore, from businesses, from individuals, from the town of Canmore, to address that issue. So yes, I think there are some areas that are zoned industrial where it might be appropriate. I also, however, think that there are some areas that are zoned industrial where it would not be appropriate. So if there's heavy machinery operating, that may not be an appropriate place to consider affordable housing. However, just because an area is zoned industrial does not mean that it should completely preclude us from looking at some of those options. And if we have private businesses that are coming forward with solutions that are especially tax neutral, we absolutely need to, when we can, remove the barriers that would prevent the businesses from implementing some of those solutions.
Giovanni, I think we should explore all options that will support affordability housing in our community. But I think building an industrial area is a bit of a question for me. I would like to explore more collective. But one thing that I'm a bit, I guess, hesitant is that we will be probably, we could push some of the investors out of town because then they wouldn't necessarily invest in have their businesses in because they wouldn't have enough, we wouldn't have enough space in the industrial area. We have only, I believe, 2 places that we use as industrial area in Canmore, and if we start building homes in this area, we will be pushing away our businesses. Most of you have businesses at these industrial areas, so I would like to hear from the from this community to see what your thoughts are. Yeah, thank you.
Rob Steely, employee housing in industrial areas. I've thought a lot about this. It's not new, it's been ongoing. Our light industrial lands in Canmore are limited. The primary purposes must remain supporting local businesses, trades, and services. That said, we all know that employee housing is one of the more flexibilities, and so by updating our zoning, we can create clear pathways for mixed-use development in industrial areas without displacing the businesses, activities those lands are meant to serve. So I guess I'm yes and no. It depends. Thank you.
Hi, it's Laura. There is some housing about the new industrial over on BOWDA. I know a local gent who is making a store down below and a 2-bedroom apartment up top. Just because it's up top of industrial does not make it affordable. I said, okay, how much is your 2-bedroom? Because he's coming through my tool. And he said, well, Laura. Okay, he said 3,200 after he said, well, Laura. You don't have to well Laura me. Just say it's 3,200, it's 2-bedroom, it's brand new. It's above industrial as long as it has the infrastructure for us to get in and out. And heavy machinery would be obviously, that would be unsafe. But I say it.
Thank you, everybody. As we pass the mic down, the next question will be the last question before we take a little bit of a break. We had planned for a 20-minute break. However, we are running a little bit behind, and in respect of your schedules, I'm going to shorten that break to about 15 minutes. So you best use that 15-minute break, but let's give everyone their attention for this last question. This is for our incumbent councillor candidates, starting with Tanya Faber.
Early, we will get started and we want to make sure we have time to get through our remaining questions. I realize the break's shorter than we anticipated, but we can get you done a little earlier if we can get seated. So, but if you are ready to be seated, please do take your seat. Okay, I know we had to lose a few people, but if you're still here, you can find a seat.
We got photos of the whole panel, yeah? We got a photo of the whole panel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just group shot.
Who has the mic? Perfect. We're going to start the second session with 2 questions that are going to run the length of the table again. But after that, we have some rapid fire questions that are going to be addressed to 2 or 3 candidates. And full disclosure, I used AI. I gave it the parameters. We have these great 6 questions. With this is how many people we have. We want to make sure everyone has the same number of questions. Make the matrix. It was fantastic. So, the first question, I'm going to ask all of you to answer it in 60 seconds or less, and please do pass it along to the person to your right, starting with. If elected, how would you ensure that the town remains accountable to development approval timelines outlined in the Municipal Government Act and support council decision-making that complies with provincial legislation so that legal risk is minimalized and taxpayer-funded litigation is avoided? Yeah, I'm happy to repeat the question for you all. If elected, how would you ensure that the town remains accountable to development approval timelines outlined in the Municipal Government Act and support council decision-making that complies with provincial legislation so that legal risk is minimized and taxpayer-funded litigation is avoided?
This is the second Jeff, after the original Jeff. In terms of the timelines and getting proposals set up, that's MGA, and that's non-negotiable for us. We will always try to maintain those deadlines, and I think we've been very diligent with that. In terms of supporting council decision-making, we have a legal team, we consult with that, and we've always been on side. You know, obviously people may disagree, and that's their right to do so. But we are not doing that on purpose. We are working to the best of our diligence. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Ma. So yeah, it is regulated in the MGA. There are rules to follow. We, this past term, have put in place processes to help improve process times with some of the software that we are using to take applications. I think, you know, there was a day that it was a write an application down, drop it on a desk and shake a hand and hope that it got through. Those days are long gone, and we need to be acting like a much more mature organization when it comes to our processes and the technology we use to process these things. It also comes from, I think, a bit of education to the development community on how applications are supposed to come. I know that a lot of them come in incomplete and gets passed back and forth, and that clock doesn't really start ticking until there is an accepted application sitting there. So there's work on our end and on the development end.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karen speaking. I think you're going to find here the same answer to the question is, I think a lot of the responsibility is on the applicant putting in everything that's needed. And if they need help, we need to maybe have someone that can help them along to make sure that the boxes are all ticked so that the timeline can start. And we do follow all, look at all the stuff through a legal lens. That's why we have a legal department. And then recommendations come out of that. But other than that, just promoting respect and completion, and there's not too much we can move it forward other than making sure everything's, and having the staff to do it. I think that's part of some of the issues that we've had. So, thank you.
Yeah, this is Jeff Hill said. So yeah, the timelines, obviously we meet those. That's an MGA. We have to meet those. So if we want to, we have to. And if we're not, then I want to hear where we're falling short, because I've talked to lots of developers and I ask, you know, where are we falling short? And sometimes they don't have an actual example for me. And other ones are saying, well, actually my stuff goes through just fine. So it depends on the developer. Again, making sure your applications have everything that's been required. But yeah, we need to make sure that we hit those timelines. And if we're not, we want your help to know why we're not, and to work to make that better. We always look at the MGA, we always look at all of our, and we always try to make sure that our decisions fall in line. Sometimes disagreements happen, and that happens. Doesn't mean that we're wrong, because sometimes we win those cases. So it just depends.
Thank you. Thank you. It is Tanya. And if elected, we're already doing a number of things around business transformation, and that's just making processes faster. Technology can do that online. It's just a matter of going from old systems to new systems. But we also, in the last 4 years, under a new strategic plan, developed KPIs for our organization. And I think that we could, in the next term, create a KPI around whether or not we are meeting the threshold for development permit timeline processing under the MGA. And that is a direct way that we can measure whether or not we are meeting these goals. And it's a KPI. So there is a direct correlation back to our decision making. Now, for decision making that complies with provincial legislation and minimizing the risk for taxpayer-funded litigation that's avoided, we can't always avoid all litigation. We are a level of government, and we will always be challenged in the courts, especially because we write legislation. And that is just a reality. Thank you, Tanya.
Hi everyone, Sean Krauser here. There's a number of practical things that we can do. We can remove things that are unnecessary steps, such as removing the SSR, which is something that I was supportive of this past term. We can streamline by reducing the questions on second rounds of iterations, and also in our land use bylaw rewrite. We need to learn from the data we're now collecting in our application system and learn where there are places that we can do better. And I very much support over this next term creating a service commitment that would include a commitment to a certain time frame, avenues for escalation, timelines for assigning a file, not adding those second comments when you had the chance at first go around, and having pre-application meetings.
Yeah, Russell. Council has one employee. Council employs the CAO. It's her job. You start down, in this case, her job. Task her to bring the process into line. You can sit back and offer advice to the CAO, but we're not doing anything directly to influence those decisions, and we need to make them right. Things seem to be awful slow and consistently poor. I'll speak from a personal example. When I had to remove my mobile home from Spring Creek, when we finally got through the permitting paperwork and process and submitted everything, 37 days to have a permit removed to simply hook on and pull it out. Thank you.
I would have to learn what you guys are talking about because I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, DP timelines, it's been a touchy subject for years. I don't have a good answer for this because I haven't been on the inside. I don't really know all the ins and outs of why things are the way they are, but my head definitely is not in the sand about it, and I think it's a real priority to address. And as far as, figuring out things and avoiding litigation, I mean, it's really about bringing people along. I'll just say the elephant in the room, off-site levies. The town didn't bring BOWDA along, and look where we've ended up. It's a mess. The livability tax, the town didn't do a great job of bringing the province along, and now we're in the situation that they're in right now. I said it right in my opening statement. It's about resolving things in media rooms instead of courtrooms, and it's about building bridges, and that's a priority for me. Thank you.
My name is Jen, for those who can't see at the back. I think there's an opportunity, a great opportunity for the new council to do an organizational review. I think that they should pursue or request that there is a third-party review of how the organization can do better on a number of different aspects. So I don't actually think it's something that should be tasked to administration. I don't think it should be up to the developers to come to council or to come to administration as they hear the issues that we're having. I think there needs to be an external review of the internal organization to find out where there are areas for improvement and where are there gaps. Why is there litigation? Why is that happening? And I think that's the broader lens to find out those answers. But like I said, with the new council, there's a great opportunity to do that. So they have the information that they need to move forward in the best way possible.
I'm Jovan. There are certain things like the timelines are regulated by the MGA and they have to meet the deadline, so no excuse on that. But I wanted to mention one thing, that there are a lot of misinformation in town regarding certain projects that we have at the moment, and it's been in the past as well. So I think having clear communication both from the developers and from town is important, so that it doesn't damage the reputation of both parties. That's really important. I would support process improvements that make approvals predictable and transparent, like clear timelines, better communication, and pre-application guidance.
Rob Seeley, Canmore has been under scrutiny for how long planning approvals can take. Part of this comes from the complexity. We have steep slopes, wildlife corridors, floodplains, and limited land. They all require careful review. Clear checklists and upfront requirements so applicants know exactly what's expected. Service standard and target timelines for routine applications. And we have to find ways to stay out of court. We've been there too often. So I think there's ways to do that through a collaborative approach, transparency, fair, and while respecting unique challenges of planning. Thank you.
Yeah, I totally agree with staying out of the courts. I have no experience with that. Permits, I only know a few contractors permit. I don't know whether it's the multiple variances dealing with. But for example, on 4th Street, my neighbor, he's a local contractor. He owned this house for as long as we have rented, which is 23 years. He always planned on making a fourplex. And last year he just sold it and bought another for rental purposes, but he just didn't want to go through permits and development with the town.
Thank you. We're going to work our way back down the table for one last question for all candidates. I just want to take a quick moment to tell you that in terms of deciding the questions that were being asked today, obviously in my role, I get to speak to many of you and I hear some of the concerns that you have, but we did also put out a survey to mention from that survey, we took not just, some of you will hear your questions being asked today, but also just the themes that were touched on. And so I just wanted you to know that these questions didn't come at random, they came as legitimate concerns that this industry have. And so we thank you all for taking the time to ask for our questions. With that, this is the last question to the entire group. If we could start down at the end where the mic is, I think Laura had the mic, and then work our way back with a 60-second answer. Are you for or against the proposed vacancy tax as it is currently written as the preferred tool to fund affordable housing in Canmore? Yes or no? And please do explain your position. Starting down the end with Laura and working our way up, 60 seconds. Thank you.
Hi, this is Laura. I almost thought it was a good idea until I really thought about the people it was actually affecting so much. I didn't realize how much extra it was. And I didn't think about the family from Edmonton who's owned it for 25 years. I was thinking more along the lines of all the new people. That's totally greedy because I was just thinking about the rentals that are the carrot dangling from the, you know what. So no, I don't think it's a good idea. I think the government is actually going to fix the situation for us.
Rob Seeley, no, not as it is currently. Vacancy, livability tax is divisive, and it's eroding our sense of community. It's created conflict and left the town fighting costly legal battles. Tripling property taxes on non-primary residents is not a way forward. Residents want solutions to make housing more attainable, not town policies that create resentment. Instead, I propose reworking the livability tax into a fairer, more reasonable tool that is part of a longer-term housing solution. Exploring other fair funding tools with the province of Alberta that directly benefit housing and infrastructure. Pursue resort municipality status so visitors contribute their fair share to services they use. Thank you.
Jovan, I thought we won't have no yes, no questions today.
Jovan, sorry, I did ask you to also explain your position.
The vacancy tax is not a perfect tool we have, but that's the only tool we have right now to address the very crisis that we have in our town. I've been door knocking for the last 2 weeks, and every third, fourth door is empty. There's no one living in there. I don't get to talk to anyone. So I think until province provides us with a tool that we can fight against this problem that we have, this is the only solution I see going forward. Things may change in the future. As we know, province is a long way involved now, and that will guide us how we approach this situation. Thank you.
Again, I do not support the implementation of tax. I think that there are other solutions that we need to look at. I think that we need to leverage the communal knowledge and experience from the residents in town There is a large group of residents that has come together and is providing some solutions that need to be to what Rob said as well, the divisiveness that this has created is not one of the values of Canmore. And I also think that there were a lot of generalizations and a lot of assumptions made about a certain demographic of our population that are incorrect. And so that has created some issues as well. So I do not support the implementation of it. I do think that we need to look at some other options.
I mean, ultimately, ultimately, I'm in the favor of the money that will be raised from this. Canmore's in a real hole when it comes to actually accelerating the growth of non-market housing. We have an entire community in the Palliser we're trying to build out relatively quickly. And as someone who's been on the board of Canmore Community Housing for the last 6 years, I can draw a straight line to what that money will do to actually keep workers living in Canmore with hundreds of non-market units coming on stream. Your question was, is it the preferred tool? I don't think it is. I mean, it's the tool that we have available right now. But resort municipality status, I mean, it's a magic bullet that we haven't been able to achieve for years, but we really need some help, maybe with some additional voices at the table. People who have the ear of the province, we can actually move the needle on this and pass that along to the visitor economy that uses the infrastructure that they're not necessarily paying taxes for. Thanks.
Thank you.
I don't go with that taxation for them either. I think it's a bad idea because we're punishing people that have lived here for 20 to 30 years, and maybe they only live here 4 months a year, but they still feel like they're part of the community. And by taxing them 3 times as much, we're pushing them out. And who's really going to be able to afford a home like that anyways, especially if you're up in Silvertip and you have a place like that. So I'm against the idea of taxation there. I think we should look at what we're spending our tax money on and maybe stop building European-style street lights and everything else and confusing intersections.
Thank you for that. Excuse me. I voted against this when it reared its head in 2007 because it was the wrong thing to do, and nothing has changed. It's not the right way to get things. It smells like a big stinking rotten cash grab, and we're going to pick on the rich people. No, not acceptable. I funded in the town's marketing campaign they put out to attach with it. It keeps referencing this is one of the best tools. Well, what the hell were the other ones? Maybe we should see those first. If there was a better one at the table, let's not do any extra work. And if there isn't, we got to find something better than just cash grabbing.
Sean Krauser here. Is it the preferred tool? No. That's why we looked at it last. But I did vote for it, and I support it in absence of any other tool. This council has also made it a subject of the property tax task force to take a look at. And I should say that when we went with this tool, we had the municipal affairs support. And I talked to the government, contrary to some comments that were said, and they said, yeah, you can proceed. So, now my most recent conversation with Mr. Williams was, we're open to any solution that meets our needs, and it doesn't have to be this one. And I just want to note too, that I believe when it came to council before, there actually was no vote that Mr. Russell would have been a part of. And my understanding from talking to people that were at the table is that he spoke for it.
Thank you. It is Tanya. And this is a really interesting question because I want to split it down the middle. I don't believe that we actually have developed the livability tax completely. So once it is developed and once we have tax policy through the property tax task force, and then once we've also, I believe, done the work to map out the next 20 years of what we really need to fund housing in our community, we can then complete developing the livability tax. I did not vote for the livability tax the first time it was in front of council because I did not see that we had developed the processes to fully implement it, and I did not understand what kind of a tax increase it would lead to for property owners. And those concerns were validated later on. And then I later then voted in support of it after we had a clear plan for how we would develop this policy and put guardrails on it. And I believe we can still do that with the province.
Thank you.
Yes, this is Jeff Hillstead. I did support it. I still support it because it is one of, if not the only tool. The other option is 34% tax increase across the board, so I'm sure everyone in this room would be happy with that. And that's one option is, yes, we could tax everyone equally. And it would be a lot. And no one likes tax increases. I would love for a different option. I think that the province should actually look at doing a hotel tax of some sort. 2% hotel tax on every accommodation unit would help solve our problem a lot, just as much. Ontario does it, other places do it, and that could benefit all municipalities in Alberta. So it's basically the only option. We've looked at everything else. We beat on the dead horse of resort municipality status. We've tried those options. The province wasn't willing. The province said, yeah, go ahead, you're allowed to do this. Yeah, the province also can change its mind, which, maybe they have, so.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you. I think a couple of things have been covered that I wanted to say, including the hotel tax, how would increase the taxes of the local resident. I know it's the only tool that we have. And the one thing that this tool that we have brought forward, and it's not my preferred choice, but it has brought attention to what the province is not helping us with. They're promoting our town with tourism. Help us out in another way. Give us the solution. It doesn't have to be this. It can also be amended at a different level. The percentage that's being charged. I do pay it in BC. It's a difference of whether you're a resident or not. And I know people have been caught in the web. We have some great second homeowners. And I think if we put as much effort that's been against it into finding a solution with our task force, that's the way to go.
Thank you, Karen. Yes, I support it. Is it a perfect tool? No, it's not. Is it the only tool we have? Yes, it is. As for the rate of it, it is a rate that is equal to commercial taxes. It's a rate that is equal to tourist home taxes. I think that is fair. It is 0.4% of property value. BC started at 1%. Many jurisdictions are now at 5%. That is a big difference to what we came up with. A lot of the people in this room were at the table to develop the tax, how it was laid out. There are also some people in this room that have a direct ear to the Premier. And the province was on board. If you've got that direct line of communication, having a tool that is more powerful if it's not this one.
Thank you, Councillor Graham. And yes, I am in support of this vacancy tax or the building tax. Is it perfect right now? No, but nothing changes if nothing changes. So by us bringing this tool forward, it's moved the board, and it's going to be through a response of that. In terms of pumping the brakes, there's too many people in this community that are struggling, right? I need to get housing for those folks. I think in terms of when people speak of division, I get it. Some people don't want to pay more taxes, but we are responding to an earlier division. When we have 1/4 of our homes empty, people are struggling to stay here, while at the same time making this community viable.
Two mayoral candidates. You have 60 seconds. In a recent poll, members shared concerns that the town is not always perceived as supportive of development. They cited red tape, delays, unpredictability, and added costs. This contrasts with efforts in other Alberta communities to reduce barriers to housing and economic growth. As mayor, how would you lead town administration in shifting culture to see BOWDA and its members as collaborative partners in building community, rather than as a source of friction?
Sean Krauser here. It's an ongoing process. In fact, it was ongoing this morning. Sally Cottle, the CAO, and myself had breakfast with David Taylor, grind tell. And that's exactly what we were talking about. It's ongoing. When council just recently met for a social engagement with the BOWDA board. It's ongoing in that there have been things implemented that have been streamlining the process, but there's still ways to go. As I mentioned a few minutes ago, I'm very supportive of further streamlining, the rewrite of the land use bylaw making a big difference, and a service commitment that deals with a number of the issues. Because I understand certainty is important, certainty is money, and uncertainty is disastrous.
Ed Russell, we need to, you know what, if you choose to elect me, I would support, as was brought up earlier, we need to review. We need to get this organized. Is the land use bylaws under review good? Let's clear it all up, clean it up, because there's a lot of complaints coming, some that may be founded, some that may not be, but it's just not, we can do better. That's the whole thing, do better. You guys are all residents, make it better for the residents, make it better all the way around. And if it starts with something as simple as organizational review without having one, as a council, that's a mutual responsibility of the team, not just individual meetings.
Thank you. Another question for the two of you. If perhaps, Ed, if you would answer this one first, then pass the mic to Sean. Due to Banff National Park's need to reside policy, limited land base, and extreme rental shortage, it's estimated that, and I will warrant it, getting accurate statistics on this is very challenging. So the estimates come between 500 at a minimum and up to 2,000 Canmore residents that commute daily to support Banff's tourism economy and public service. While the exact number hasn't been down, we do know this workforce is significant. As mayor, what strategies would you pursue to advocate for federal support in funding affordable housing in Canmore to sustain this regional workforce?
If we've got that many people commuting to Banff, possibly we bring Banff to the plate with us because it's there. We're picking up the slack for their lack of housing. We're bringing the workers here. I've got limited experience dealing with the federal people outside of the immigration industry, but anything we can do, we've got an MP here. We can use him, we can approach him. And as a team project, that's what we would have to tackle because it's there. Banff can assist us with this and collectively do the right thing.
Sean here. I stood in this room and welcomed Mayor DeMano to speak. And when I introduced her, I said, hey, welcome to Canmore, home of the Three Sisters, home of amazing Alpenville, and home of many of your employees. It's a huge issue. And the problem with growth in Banff National Park is that they haven't given a lot of consideration. In fact, one of the reports that I saw said, how will housing be accommodated? Well, it will come into either Banff or more likely into Canmore. So I've been sitting at the table when they do the round circle, and I'm consistently every year, you have to consider housing, you have to take care of your own housing when you approve a project. I've also, following the last round, the Minister Fraser, who was then a housing minister in general, and I talked to him about the realities here. And the problem with some of the things that they required in the application, Canmore already did, and they wouldn't give us credit for it going forward.
Recognizing that it's now 5-2, we do have some fantastic questions for our candidates, and we're going to be grouping them. It'll only be 2 people answering at a time. If anyone does have to leave, I'd ask that you just maybe step out now. But if you can stay, we're going to move quickly through this last few questions with just a couple of candidates answering at a time. The next question is posed to both Rob Seeley and Karen Mara, with Rob please answering first. You have 60 seconds. Do you agree that lengthy and unpredictable permit timelines contribute to affordability and business challenges in Canmore? If elected, would you prioritize, and how would you approach this? So that, do you need the question repeated?
Yeah, one more time, please.
Agree that lengthy and unpredictable permit timelines contribute to affordability and business challenge in Canmore? And If you were elected, would you prioritize improvements and how? You have 60 seconds, thank you.
Yeah, the timelines cost money and it impacts affordability. So clear process, I guess it goes both ways. So clear process, make sure that everything's understood and expectations are met. So again, if it goes both ways, understand what it is, what the process is, and then make sure that you're accountable and same thing on your end, you're getting the municipality information that the municipality needs. Thank you.
Karen. See you right now.
Thank you. I think I partly answered this already. Yes, I would prioritize it because I do hear a lot of concerns. Some are not valid and some are very valid. I know that time costs money in the construction industry. I would like to hear individual, actually, what's going on that's holding it up? Is your permit has already been checkmarked and everything's there and then it's taking too long? Or is it because not everything is there and that's taking the process? And I forgot the second part of the question, sorry.
Do you believe that it relates to affordability and business challenges?
Yes. Yes, it does, because obviously it's interest payments, it's the cost of goods constantly changing in this, so yes.
Thank you very much. If you could please pass the mic down towards Ed. This question is for Ed Russell and Jen Marin, with Ed answering first, in 60 seconds. To improve the quality of life for Canmore residents, what is one specific initiative or approach that you would champion that differs from something that the current council has done?
We need to clean up the traffic. Parking and congestion are killing us, and no one's really touched on that lovely piece of intersection at A&W. Maybe we didn't get it quite right when we built it, but you know what? That would cut down an awful lot of stress and make a lot of people very, very happy.
This is Jen. This is a bit of a difficult question because I think quality of life in Canmore is different for each resident, as we all experience Canmore in different ways. So I think that we need to consider that quality of life is not one thing for each person in Canmore. But to do that or to do something differently, I think the town of Canmore itself needs to be a very highly functional, effective organization, professional organization. So I would want to bring in some strategies to make sure that we are functioning as a highly functional, effective, professional organization. And I think if that's happening, there is a better chance we are going to be able to make decisions that have a higher quality of life for a more diverse group of Canmore residents.
Thank you. This next question is for Javan, Rob Murray, and James Stricker, with 60 seconds to answer. If the mic could be passed to Javan, please, then to Rob, then to James. What ideas do you have to help rebuild trust between town administration and the development community while also addressing public concern about growth and change?
Jovan here. Like I mentioned earlier, communication is important. Keeping clear lines of communication and making sure that everyone who is involved is being invited to the table. Keeping an open mind and hearing the perspectives not only of developers but also the community. It's important that we approach the growth as a collectively and make sure that everyone is at the table when we make decisions.
Thank you. I think an advantage I have as someone who's pretty known in the community is that I know a lot of people in this room. I saw the red light. I'm also a DJ, so I know what that means. Yeah, so I know a lot of people in this room, and I feel that I'm very approachable. People can come talk to me, and I really want to help facilitate building some bridges and just really hoping that we can think about the present and the future, again, I think we're all really working towards the same common goal, which is a really great place to live and to work and to make money. And I think if we go into that with that sort of end goal in mind, we can look at the areas where we might be in misalignment and see if we can find collaborative or in some cases compromise solutions.
I've been running backwards for a few years. I believe that the town has been telling the council, who's been telling the people what they need. Instead, it's the people that tell the council, that tell the town how it's done. So I think if we could get back to that system, anyway, if we can get back to that system and actually listen to what people want, maybe put out some information in the newspaper, get people to vote on what we're gonna do instead of telling them what we're gonna do, I think that would go a long way in fixing any issues we have.
Thank you. The next question is for Laura Finley and Tanya Faber. If you could pass the mic to Laura, and then we'll have to slide it back down to Tanya. In 60 seconds, do you believe that
I'm new to this totally so much. I've missed all the BOWDA meetings. Usually it's my boss, and I've been quite jealous about the meals he's eaten. So let's just work together. If I'm on town council, I will do the best that I can for people who can more, which is probably mostly you as well. Look out for all our needs. I just want to help Canmore do better. And for me, a big part about that is the roads. I don't think BOWDA has anything to do with that, but one of my co-workers was hit on his scooter crossing Bow Valley Trail on a multi-purpose crosswalk. It's a thing now. You can stay on your bike, you can stay on your scooter, or you can pedestrian across it. He killed that cab. That cab went to Standish. It's all because of the road, traffic calming measures, and too many signs.
Thank you. Can we pass that mic back towards Tanya for there, please?
Yes, that. I'm going to get a few extra seconds for that. Oh, that young man was my nephew. That's right. He is a very good size young nephew for me. So how would I support the building industry playing a more active role in addressing our housing and development challenges? And I think that there's a lot of really dry stuff around how we actually do that, including the land use bylaw rewrite and the public participation policy. How do we listen to you when we make decisions that affect you? Do we just tell you what we're doing, or do we ask for your input into it and then incorporate what you're saying into what we do before we actually take it out and do it? And those are the processes. That's where going slow, having conversations, bringing people along as we go. Now, density bonusing is a huge area, and that's the land use bylaw. We have not gone into infill or density bonusing in a really significant way in our community, and I want to do that.
Thank you. So just for those of you wondering about the time, we have 2 more questions for 2 candidates each. We're actually made up some great time. Thank you, everybody. This question is for Jeff Hillstead and Wade Graham. If the mic could be please passed to. You guys are ahead of me with 60 seconds. While some voices in our community remain skeptical of the development industry, we do also face a pressing housing crisis that demands collaboration. It's getting to the end of the day. As a leader, how would you help shift perceptions, building trust, and encouraging a more constructive view of builders and developers as part of this community?
I think it's just keeping the dialogue, Jeff Hill said, but keeping the dialogue open. I think when members of BOWDA and developers, when they do good things, we gotta give some praise to where praise is due. I know a lot of developers that partner with CCH as they do developments to bring on CCH units, that should be celebrated. Again, a lot of builders build to really good environmental standards. Again, should be celebrated. So I think it's just getting that kind of information out to the public so that they know that, you know, these builders do care. They want to build the best product they can that serves our community. And I think we just have to do a better job at letting it be known.
Every part of me wants to say ditto. Yeah, I could say this sometime. Yeah, I think the developer is passionate about what it is to develop. And giving credit where credit is due is necessary and required. I've been heartened to see groups like Biosphere and BOWDA doing events together, collaborating on what is possible. We're going to double the size of this town, and there are things we're going to disagree with. Some people want the floodgates opened, and other people didn't have any development whatsoever. There has to be a middle ground in that. I focused a lot of my time this last term on building those bridges and getting those people.
Thank you. Our final question of the day is directed towards Jeff Long and Sean Krauser. If the mic can be, sure, that works. With 60 seconds on our final question, thank you. What is the most important thing that you've learned from your experience in council that would shape your approach moving forward? Is there anything that you would do differently based on that experience?
The most important thing I've learned is that all the problems we work with are quite complex. So you have to really take a look at all the pieces and start working at that. I think the other challenge though is because we have complex problems, it's very, very hard to make solutions that make everybody happy. So what you have to do, at least myself, when I took an oath to be on council, is to make decisions that help most of the community, benefit the community as best as possible. And sometimes that's not easy. There's been times where I wish I could make everybody happy, but I cannot. Right? To make it the best as we can. Thank you.
Yeah, Sean here. You know, getting onto council is a huge learning curve. You learn about the things that Mr. Ma just spoke about. But then becoming mayor is another huge learning curve on top of that. And I believe I've learned the job really well. I believe I've done a good job for the most part. But there are some things I would do different, and I alluded to them earlier. With the pathway, I would have had a different conversation. I got too heated. And with the second homeowners and the livability tax program, I would have a different conversation as well. Once again, I don't know if that would change the outcome. I know the path was going to be done because it had to be. And with the second homeowners, maybe there'd be more common understanding if we approached it differently as far as that engagement piece goes. So I will learn to be better there.
Thank you very much. With that, I'd like to thank all of you for joining us today for this BOWDA Municipal Election Forum. We do appreciate all of you taking so much time out of your day and your commitment to civic engagement. Whether you're a candidate, a member, or another community stakeholder, your participation here today reflects the professionalism and dedication to building a stronger community for all of us. Thank you to all of our sponsors, and thank you to our incredible hosts here at Silvertip who have been amazing for all of us today, dealing with trying to sneak in and out and serve everyone and not interrupt. We just really appreciate everything you do for us. Big thank you to Rocky Mountain Outlook for stepping up for us today to make this event 100% accessible for anyone who wanted to see and hear the results of today's event. We do acknowledge that with space limits and a seated meal, not everyone could be here today, but we are very grateful that they made this something that everyone could join in and learn from. Please be sure to register for the Building for Sustainability Symposium. My email's been flying, there's been a few signing in, thank you very much. And of course, vote. Vote on October 20th, vote between now and then, take out, if you're gonna be away on the 20th, there are many opportunities, no excuse for you to not vote. Thank you to all of our candidates If we could get a huge round of applause for everyone today.